Hi, I'm Christina Sanders and I'm a student at Texas Southern University in Houston, Texas. When asked the question, which women's issues should be at the forefront of the candidates as they're running for office right now in the 2008 election, the answer has to be quality of life issues. When you talk about education and having access to it for young people and having access to health care for children, that directly affects women all over the country, especially single parents. And so I think that when we talk about a living wage or we talk about access to certain services that are needed for children and for families, women definitely are concerned with those issues. So any issue relating to that is very important when it comes to women. And I think in terms of their vote, I think women are going to vote for candidates that they think can push these types of social agendas on behalf of their families. And so, the women's vote will definitely support candidates as it relates to quality of life concerns in America. Iraq. The best plan of action in Iraq, or what we should do now with Iraq, in my opinion, is that we should minimize our presence in Iraq, and we should begin to directly address the issues in the area, in the area near Iraq, and how, in terms of how they can propose a threat to us and our national security. And so I just think that we need to minimize our presence in Iraq because the amount of funding that we're spending there is very excessive and unacceptable, and it's affecting our domestic agenda here in America. And so I think that we have to figure out a way to minimize our presence as well as address the issues as there are issues in that region and in other places like in the Sudan as it relates to global terrorism and global security. The economy, the United States economy right now is in a very interesting position. Are we in a recession? Are we going into a recession? I think so. I drove down the street today and gas is like $3.19, and that's very unfortunate. Seeing that, we're seeing these increases in inflation, the living wage is not changing. People are having to work harder for less. People are having to work harder and able to afford less. Taxes on food, taxes on basic everyday things are growing, and so I think that what we have to do in the economy is we have to begin to look at and assess, how we've, given taxes, and I think taking back the tax cut is an important thing to try to help stabilize the economy. One, so that we can begin to put resources where they can be, create longevity in our economy, as well as I think investing long term in our young people so that they can be more competitive in the global market as we talk about jobs and turning over monies in our countries and our communities. And so I think that that's going to be very important to our economy if we make better investments and also figure out a way that we can get jobs back in America and get jobs. We offer certain incentives to companies as they are willing to provide types of adequate jobs and adequate packages to people here in America, and I think that's going to be very important for us to stabilize our economy and to not go into a deep recession as we're probably experiencing now. And there's a whole lot that has to be done to fix the healthcare system in America. It is absolutely unacceptable that a basic human need of healthcare, is not being addressed in most communities, in many places for people. People don't go to the doctor because they don't have healthcare, and childhood illnesses that could be easily taken care of are not because of the lack of healthcare. And so what I think America has to do, America has to take a strong hand in terms of offering and providing the key services that are needed for healthcare in this country, because it's a danger to everybody's health if people are, in our economy without having access to healthcare. And so fixing our healthcare system is basically putting in the types of principles and values that value every life. And so once we get a focus back onto the individual and the basic citizen of the country, then I think that will fix the healthcare system, because we should be in the business of providing healthcare in the first place.